Hi everyone, today I want to do my makeup in my orange dress. I even have like a little orange brooch. And I just got in the mail. I've been so excited to try this because this is another day in orangefying my life. And look at NARS Taj Mahal. I love it, it's so orange. And I also found an orange lipstick from NARS and an orange lip gloss. So I wanted to use them all together, but since I only also have a NARS, I think I actually have a bronzer from them, a couple bronzers, but for like foundation, I only have a concealer. So I'm also pairing it with Ilia stuff and with Too Faced stuff for the bronzer, the mascara, and then Ilia is the eyeshadow, the foundation stick, and the light like cream blush because I didn't want to just put a powder one on. I didn't think it's gonna like stay as well for my day ahead. I'm going to work and I am also going to solid core. So I feel like it needs to stay on. Honestly, I don't care if it stays on through solid core, that's after work. But the One Size setting spray does typically keep it on. I would put this on at the beginning of the day. My makeup pretty much lasts through like an Orange Theory solid core. Yeah, it sometimes runs under my eyes, but it's basically good. So let's get started. First, we have to skin prep. Love the Cuddly Grape Mist Water. Yes, I thought it was gonna be like fancy water and I was like, do I really want that? It is very hydrating, and for $12 for the small size, I think it's like a nice little treat to bring with you when you're traveling. It fits in a travel size bag, just not for all the time, but it's a nice occasional. I like the Ilia Glazing Milk. As you can see, I'm breaking out a little bit on my chin, and I have products to cover that up as well. Specifically the NARS Pot Concealer, that's a concealer I have from them. Actually, I do have their creamy concealer. I will say that's not my favorite concealer. I feel like, I know a lot of people raved about it for years. I personally feel like it is not as comfortable, like just to kind of get out of the container. I find it kind of thick. I'll have to go back and try it again because opinions change, but yeah, I wasn't like blown away. Like I remember like a lot of people were like, you have to try this. So I tried it and I was like, it's okay. It's not the best, it's not the worst. The CeraVe like eye cream, I think is one of the best. It's very clean. As in like I don't know if it's technically a clean product, but I don't think there's like that much stuff in it. And I think it's pretty like one of the basics, and I feel like it's one of the basics for a reason. So I also, the L'Autre Crème Concentré, I used to take French and I feel like I have just butchered the French language. This is very good though. I find it very thick and creamy, and I feel like it holds the makeup, and I don't know if that's the right word. Grips it is probably a better word. It's not like that grippy primer, but I do find my makeup holds really well on this. So I love it. I think right now one of my goals would be, I've been to France before. I was lucky enough to study abroad in Florence, and I did a trip to Paris when I was there. And I want to go back though, now that I'm into skincare, and like just go to a French pharmacy and get some like skincare products. So the Dalba Piedmont First Spray Serum, I had seen this online. I was influenced. I think it holds my makeup, like gives myself like my makeup something to like glide onto. I personally like it. But before we can do that, we have to put on some sunscreen. Every day, put sunscreen on my face. I would love to live to be 100. I want to look approximately 95 when I'm 100. So, you know, when I'm in the nursing home, I can be like, look at my skin, it's 95. But really, I'll be 100. So the Naked Sundays, I like this one. I don't know if I love this one. It's kind of in my everyday rotation, but if I'm honest, I think it's more my everyday rotation to kind of use it up. Like, I don't think it's the worst. I don't think it's the best. I think there's a lot of Korean sunscreens that I personally like better, but I don't have like something like specific bad to say about it. Whenever I like do sunscreen, I feel like it gets all over my hands, in the sense of like, I don't want to transfer it to like the other products. I always like wipe it off with a tissue. So now let's use this serum. And I want to start putting out more long form makeup tutorials, and just honestly, it's more playing around with makeup, and I guess it's a tutorial, but it's more like I've learned so many techniques from makeup tutorials that I want to create them. They look so much fun. I want to do that. So I'll start doing that over on my YouTube, on like to have some long form content. Anyway, to get your eyes, like if you're gonna put on some what do you call it, eyeshadow, I feel like to really grip it on there, you need some sort of concealer. Yes, it's heavier on your eyes, but yes, in my personal opinion, it makes a big difference. But before that, I personally think you should always start with brows. I like this Winky Luxe brow pencil. I think it suits a lot of different eyebrow like shades, for lack of a better word. I feel like it's kind of a gray brown. It comes in one shade. I also feel like it could work on like blonde, could work on like black or brown or gray. Like, again, I feel like it's kind of a shade that works on, I don't want to say everyone, but I feel like a lot of different people, I guess, try it and see if it works on your eyebrow shade. I don't know if that's the right term, eyebrow shade. I'm looking over to my bathroom mirror to like fill them in. I do very, very light. I was very blessed with like a thicker eyebrow, which weirdly enough, I used to be like slightly insecure about. And then 2016 brows came in and I was like, say less. But I really like to like slightly fill them in. Honestly, if I'm doing a very, very light makeup look, I won't even fill them in. But it just because I want it to look more natural. But when I do like a thicker, like heavier look, so to speak, I like to have something. Otherwise, I just feel like my brows then don't go with the rest of my face. Does anyone else feel that way? Let me know in the comments below. Like, I feel like sometimes your brows don't go with your face if you don't like put like the same level. And my eyes too, like it's not just a brows thing, it's also like an eye thing. If I do a really heavy rest of my makeup and I don't fill in like my eyes and like, you know, mascara and eyeliner and like the right shade, I feel like it does not go. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like that is one of my rules. One of my favorite concealer brushes, I've had this for a while, the Morphe concealer brush. I also really like the House Labs one. I think it's honestly, this one's slightly denser than the House Labs one. I personally just really enjoy the very like, honestly, the dense brush for a lot of like foundation, but I like this shape, like this like little angled shape. Not sure what you call that. Here I am, I'm like showing you how to do my makeup. I'm like, I don't know the name of that, but I don't know the name of that. So I'm putting a little extra on today, again, just because it's like a NARS video. So I feel like, you know, to put a little extra NARS. So I'm covering pimples. I will say, like, I'm not gonna lie, I personally don't think my technique when it comes to like covering acne is the best. I feel like sometimes the rest of my makeup pulls off what I've already like set in to cover whatever pimples. So I'm trying to find more videos to watch to see, you know, how people do that, essentially. So while I let that sit on my face, you know what, and we'll also press it in with some Laura Mercier powder. And that was the NARS pot concealer, which yes, I was influenced to buy, and yes, I think it is worth the money. I've had mine for years, and yes, I know you're supposed to get rid of your makeup if I'm spending a pretty penny. The only thing that I do actually replace is my mascara, but I also use mascara pretty much every day, and I wear contacts, and I am like -15 in contacts. I am very blind, and I don't like how my glasses feel on. Like, it's not even the way it looks. Like, yes, I don't like how I look with glasses on, but it's mostly I don't think I see as well, and for me, I will always prioritize seeing. So if I get pink eye or an infection, then I can't wear my contacts, and I slightly panic. So in order to prevent that panic, I just replace my mascara. Probably not as much as I should, but more than like, you know, like essentially never, like the rest of my products. No, I don't do the same for eyeshadow. Yes, I know in theory that doesn't make any sense, but I'm hypocritical when it comes to something like that. And yes, I don't always do that much powder underneath. I'm just saying if this will set the acne with the stuff over it. Okay, now my mom had gotten me this a while ago, when like literally last year in one of the advent calendars. Honestly, I want to make a video coming up like this coming holiday season about what my dream advent calendar would be, like what products would be in there. Obviously it would be orange, like that is a given. I am not giving anything away by telling anyone that. That's like, if you were to know me, you were to know I love the color orange. So it's not like that much of a secret. But I've had that since like holiday season 2024, and yes, I usually have individual brow stuff. I forgot to take them in here, so I'm using my reusable one. Anyway, I have had it last like over a year, and it's still going strong, and I use it most days. So shout out to e.l.f. with their brow, I think it says lift, or it said lift, it doesn't say it anymore. Then, now that I've prepped the eyes, okay, so I have gotten these for someone else as a gift as well. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm getting one, like one for you, one for me, obviously. And no, I don't do that with all gifts, but I was like, I want to try the, is it eyeshadow sticks? Yeah, eyeshadow sticks. And I was like, you know what, this is a cool way to try 3. So it was their little holiday, I think it was a holiday gift set, the 3 of them. I don't know what these shades are, but I love them. I actually do. I do really like them. I'm not just saying I love them, even though I do love saying that about various things. So with the medium shade, I'm going over the majority of my eye. I have more hooded eyes, and I always used to like not understand, like, why does like eyeliner not work on me like it works on, you know, other people. And hooded eyes is the exact reason. So I'm taking a very fluffy brush. This came in one of the Ipsy bags that I used to get. That's actually how I really got into makeup, Ipsy bags. And then the pandemic, I needed something to do during the pandemic, and that really occupied my time, makeup and skincare. Will I say it got me through the pandemic? Yes, I would. So fluffy brush. I'm going to take a slightly less fluffy brush. For reference, like all my brushes are like a bit dirty, which is disgusting, but they need to be washed, and I will not lie to you and say that they don't. So I am, first, at least the eye stuff, I try to keep more clean brushes for the reason I told you about the fear of pink eye. I don't want to say it's my biggest fear, but it is up there. Literally because of the contact situation. If it wasn't for that, it would be like less of a big fear. I would like to, I'm not a candidate for LASIK, so at some point I can get a surgery that's basically cataract surgery, but they put in your lens. So I'm looking at that, but it also, there's like, I feel like there's technology coming out, honestly, a lot with that sort of thing. So it might change to something different if something better comes out. And yes, I have to talk to a doctor about that, not TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, wherever you're seeing this. And then for the darkest shade, that was like the lightest shade I just put on kind of in the corners. I am putting it almost like an eyeliner. Because my eyes are hooded, I go in more like just kind of messy and then kind of even it out. And I find that that works for me. And yes, I have seen people do amazing eyeliner. And yes, I have occasionally done amazing eyeliner on myself. I don't have the patience today. I'm doing a very thin brush to kind of, I might need a thicker brush for this, but at least for the bottom here to really just kind of like get that in there. And then I will actually do a slightly thicker brush, maybe a little too thick of a brush, like too fluffy, so to speak, and just kind of get that in there. You want it to like look blended. Like, yes, you want there to be definition when you're doing the kind of an eyeliner type look, but at the same time, like, it should look like it's one cohesive look. Okay, I think that's blended enough. And then I have the little like bright spot in the corners, which I absolutely love. Okay, so next, I always like to start with a little bit of mascara. This is, I swear by a tubing mascara. It has held up through workouts. It has held up through 100-degree weather at an Indian wedding in South India during 100-degree weather. And I don't know how else, like, I could convince someone to buy something. And yes, the one size setting spray also held that in place, so. But this is the Too Faced one. I think it's very good. I personally found that the Better Than Sex did not work on me. This one does, the Too Faced Ribbon Tubing Mascara. It is pink. I like it, obviously. My dream one day would be to have a makeup company with lots of just orange. And so obviously the color would be orange, but I do like the pink. It's a complementary color to orange. Okay, that is coat one. I will need a second coat at some point. Now for the big reveal, the Ilium foundation stick. I love a foundation stick for traveling. I feel like it holds better in your suitcase, so I will always swear by that. I really like the Ilia one. Okay, when they first sent it to me, I was like, why would they send me a dented one? I was slightly offended. And then I realized it's actually for your thumbs. So that was actually very nice. I went from offended to being like, oh, like that's actually a good idea. I love the Sigma brushes. I find I honestly got the fun shapes because I was like, there has to be something about it. I don't know if I swear by it, but I do like it. So I'm using this weirdly shaped one to blend it in. Hopefully that powder kind of set my acne well. I go between patting and blending. Anything where I don't want like the bottom to come up, like anything underneath, I pat in. Anything that I don't care. There's like nothing underneath besides skincare. I blend out. So it really depends. I think when I don't have like any like spots to conceal, I will fully just blend, especially if it's like a thick foundation. Okay, and then I try to do that second coat of mascara pretty early because otherwise it dries down, and then I personally find, at least on my eyelashes, it then dries a bit weird, and I don't like that. So I try to prevent that, and sometimes I don't. So it really depends. It's already like started to dry down, but you want it to be a little dry. Yeah, you don't want it to be like fully dried down, but you also don't want it to be like super like wet still, because then it's just like layering on more product, almost like in that same first or second or whatever coat it is, and then it doesn't overall go as well. And again, these are tips that work for me. Obviously, if you have other tips that work for you, that is amazing. And I love that for you. And I would love to hear more, because maybe those tips would work for me. But I'm just saying, these are personally what I have found over the years that have worked for me. If it doesn't work for you, that is okay. I have used many a tip that I'm like, how did that work for that person? But I'm glad it worked for them, obviously. But yeah, good for them, not for me, I guess. So hopefully all these work for you though. And then the Too Faced, it's like the chocolate bronzing stick. It smells like chocolate. This one is chocolate mousse. Like, you can't tell me that that is incredible, like not incredible marketing. Put it in these places. I'm not doing any concealer or contour, not concealer. So I'm gonna do concealer right now. Contour is a lighter, like cool tone. Bronzer is like warm tone, like where are you kissed by the sun, so to speak. So I am just blending this in. You want to tap, especially like now you have the foundation or skin tint or whatever you have underneath. If you have something underneath. So I am just patting in. Oh, I dropped the phone. It is stuck to the mirror. But I actually think that the way that I blended this is now like better than how I have been doing, because it seems to still take into account the concealed spots underneath, and I usually just go down a teeny bit under my chin to make it look cohesive. So that's that. I like a more angled brush for bronzer and contour, especially contour, to be honest. All right, and then one of my last steps is a cream blush. I like the Ilia one. I don't even know if they make this shade anymore. I got this a long time ago. It is in the shade Stutter, I say as I sort of stutter my way through it. And I like, again, a more angled brush. I have to wash my brushes. I actually saw on Reddit, someone was like, I must Washington my brushes. And that is all I can think about now. Like whenever I have to wash my brushes, I'm like, I must Washington my brushes. And yes, you have to like say it in a fake British accent, in my personal opinion. So anyway, I'm tapping this in. And it gives you sort of a lifted, like sun-kissed look. I just put a teeny bit on my forehead, teeny bit on my chin, again, just tapping. And then we are down to the last couple steps. So first, I'm actually gonna put on this lipstick. This is my first time trying the lipstick. I don't even know if I have a chapstick on. So this is their shade No Shame. Love it. I think that's like a nice orangey color. And then this is their lip gloss Make a Move. So I am making a move. And then to finish off this look, this is the very last part. I love how that looks. we are going to do Taj Mahal over our cheeks. And that is all. I'm just finding a very fluffy brush. I love the Sephora 96. Honestly, most of the brushes I use will show you I like. There are definitely, of the ones I have, like some I like better than others. That's just like having items that you own where like some you just like better than others. So I am putting this all over the face. It's definitely pretty pigmented. It's sparkly. I love it. Sometimes I'll take a brush that does not have the stuff that I just dipped in. Sometimes I'll also pat it off on my hands. Forgot to do that today. And let's see, this very fluffy e.l.f. brush, and it had nothing on it, so I am just patting it out. And then to just get it even. Now for the final step, I'm going to spray my face with the Professional setting spray. While that is drying, basically dry, then I'm going to do the One Size setting spray. Yes, it smells and feels like hairspray. No, I don't know what's in it. Will it potentially kill me one day? Probably. And I'm okay with that. It sets my makeup beautifully. And then I find you should always go atop with like some just like water mist. You could literally use water. I'm feeling fancy and doing the Ultra Rizzle. Like unmattifies your makeup, but thank you for Orange-ifying your day with Serena, and I will be back with more makeup looks, tips, and tricks, all involving the color orange in some capacity.